the recklessness of Dangote's drivers not having license, and even the people that have been killed through accident and all that is more of a government fault than Dangote's fault. Because when there is a system, an organized system, that wouldn't even be the case. You won't find a situation where people who are not desiring or people who are not qualified, to be on the road, being on the road, you won't find that happening. Like I said in my previous videos, where strong institutional framework is on ground, when rules are on ground and we have stringent measures, talking about punitive actions taken against offenders or breakers of the rules, people will stick to the rules. So the challenge with us in Nigeria is that we don't have a system that is effective, that compares obedience of people to rules. We don't have the structure. Let's take, for instance, to become a driver in the UK, you go through the head of a needle. It's not easy. It's a very big enterprise of its own and a different world of its own. For you to be a driver in the UK, okay, let me just run you through. First, you have to sit one exam first, which is theoretical. They call it the theory test, driving test. But before that, you would have to apply first with your passport photograph, your details, everything to the government. They call the agency in charge, DVLA. You apply to them. Now, they would not, for what we call provisional license, they will not issue a provisional license, because without that provisional license, you cannot write the theory exam. So when you have your provisional license, the next step would be for you to book for your theory exam. And the theory exam is a computer-based test, which you can write, in only designated centers, outlets where such exams are written. Now, there are a lot of questions. You have different parts to the theory exam. You have the part that has to do with the so-called hazard, that will test you on hazard, your ability to sense hazard, to know what is hazard when you're on the expressway driving, for your ability to spot hazard and all that. They'll put it to test. Then they'll put your knowledge of the rules and regulations of driving, the traffic laws, everything. They'll put your knowledge to test in that area too, in the other session of it. So these exam can be so rigorous because it requires you studying. Nobody's going to do it for you. You have to study and understand the driving rules and regulations. And for you to be able to pass that exam, you have to read. There are as the time I wrote that exam, there was up to about 1,000 questions, past questions, that you have to revise, that I studied and studied. Luckily for me, I was able to pass it in my first sitting. But a lot of people sit that exam for up to about 10 times before they even succeed. Why some even get frustrated, they don't continue. So that's the first stage. Now, stage. Once you succeed with this stage, the next stage will now be the practical test stage. Now, it doesn't matter whether you have been driving for 35 years in Nigeria or in any country you come from, this exam not be your mate, because it's not just all about holding steerings. You see, those things you've read, the driving rules and regulations, it is now time to test you on those things. You'll be shocked that very little thing, minor thing like this, might go fail you for the exam. And some people have written that exams they have done that practical exam for over 10 times. They've not even passed it. Some of them even get frustrated. They say, I don't want to do it again. Because for each time you fail it, you re-enroll with about £65. That's equivalent to about 120 to 130,000 naira in Nigerian currency. Now, you keep spending money to do it. So why some get so lucky, they pass it at the first instance, some pass it second, third, like that. There are people who have been doing it for about 10 times, they've not passed. Because it's not all about the number of years you've driven, like I just said, So they want to test, but the most important thing they are looking out for is your safety consciousness and your meticulousness in driving, your ability to spot hazard and everything. So there are lots of rigors they'll have to take you through. There are 4 major maneuvers you must know and understand and be able to perform during this practical test. And one of such maneuvers, they call it reverse bay maneuver. The other one is forward bay maneuver. Then you have parallel parking, is also a maneuver. Then you have reversing the length of 2 cars. That's another maneuver. So you must understand these maneuvers. You also have emergency brake. You might just be driving and they'll tell you, stop. That stop, you have to stop the car, and your leg has to be on the brake, then your hands on the steering, and you wait for further instruction. They want to test when they say park, when you are free to do so. They want to see if you are going to park on double lines, yellow lines, if you are going to park on restricted areas. They want to test all these abilities. And while undertaking the practical test, your examiner is sitting right close to you in the front seat. Your examiner is with his computer and everything and observing you. He's got his own mirror. You've got your mirror. He's observing your signaling. That's trafficating when you should trafficate, and your observation, which is very key. How well do you observe while driving? How well do you use your side mirrors? There are a lot of us in Nigeria that since we started driving, we never even use our side mirror once. You are watching this video, you agree with me that's the truth. And until I came to the UK, I never even knew what was driving, even though I've been driving for over 20 years in Nigeria. I never knew what was driving was. I never knew there were rules surrounding roundabouts until I came to the UK. So these are stress and challenges you have to go through to get the driver's license. And that's why that driver's license is even more important than your CV, your certificate here. Because there are certain jobs you cannot even get without if you don't have the driver's license. It's very important. I got mine 3 months into the UK because I set it in my heart that this is what I want to achieve, and I achieved it. My license is almost 3 years old today, So having got this through these rigors, it's not child's play. Then secondly, having gotten the license, now because those now then you realize say people will not even get license, they better pass yourself as if they get peace of mind pass you. Because every time you drive on the road, that license is rated. It has a lifespan, and the lifespan of the license is in 12 points. We call it 12 points. Now, for every traffic offense, major traffic offense you commit, a point is attached to you, meaning lifespan reduces. Like if you beat a traffic light, that's 3 points, leaves, plus fine, monetary fine that you pay, maybe £100 or thereabout. Now, the lifetime span reduces. And the implication of all this is that the consequence is so grave that 3 points on your license will increase your insurance fee. Meaning, if you used to pay £100 every month as insurance, by your next insurance, because everything is connected online to your license. Anywhere you go, can I see your license? You just look at it, everything. It shows that this guy is a defaulter. That's like a criminal record on your name, and nobody wants it. Even to tell you how worse it is, some girls, some ladies, they break up with their boyfriends when their boyfriends commit such kind of, traffic offenses. You lose friends sometimes. It tells on your credit rating. And what is credit rating? What is life here in the UK or abroad without credit ability, without credit rating? I mean, that's everything. Talk about mortgage, talk about, everything you do, your car purchase and everything is all about credit. So it affects everything about your life. So because you see, it's like your life is connected to that license, you try to be extremely careful. Even the ILR, you can't get indefinite leave to remain in the UK if you have a point on your license to tell you how bad it is. So because of this, people are very careful in driving. Nobody wants to commit any offense.